the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the likes.
The Chicago Bears are starting to get very, very bold in their head coaching search. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, before I go any further with today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is BetUS. As always, Bears fans, you guys can head over to betus.com and use promo code YouTube150 for a 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000, and also get 125% second and third deposits as well. So, Bears fans, Ryan Poles was not lying when he said that he was going to cast a very wide net for the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. And he has delivered on this promise. According to Adam Schefter of ESPN, the Bears actually tried to pull off a blockbuster trade when they reached out to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers, to try to make a deal for Mike Tomlin. He had this to say, Bears fans. Said the Bears recently called the Steelers to see if they would be allowed to talk to and potentially try to trade for longtime head coach Mike Tomlin, only to have the Pittsburgh Steelers rebuff their inquiry. That's what league sources told ESPN. He said discussions never made it to Tomlin, nor is it likely they have been successful, even if they did. When asked earlier this week about the idea a team could inquire about his availability, when in fact at least one team already had, Tomlin responded, "Save your time." But in the eyes of some sources, Chicago deserves credit for at least making the call. The Bears recognize the type of leader and coach Tomlin is, and in an effort to exhaust all possibilities, they even reached out to the Steelers. Even without Tomlin in the mix, the Bears have cast a wide net in their head coaching search. Bears fans, you have to give Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, and the Chicago Bears organization a whole lot of props for even reaching out. I like to believe that the worst thing they can say is no, right? We understand the type of coach Mike Tomlin is. I know there's a lot of Steelers fans out there that are ready for a fresh start. It seems like, it's run its course with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but that doesn't mean Mike Tomlin is not an outstanding head coach. My dad and I always joke around about if Mike Tomlin was actually ever on the trade block, or if Mike Tomlin was actually ever fired from the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Chicago Bears would need to do their due diligence and go out there and at least talk to Mike Tomlin. And this is a move that really does not surprise me by the Chicago Bears whatsoever. Once again, they're just doing their due diligence. They're casting the wide net. They are being aggressive. They are trying to get this next head coach of the Chicago Bears right. And when you're trying to get one of the greatest coaches of all time in Mike Tomlin, that means, yes, Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears are actually leaving no stone unturned, and I absolutely love it. Let's remind ourselves, Bears fans, that team president Kevin Warren has ties to Mike Tomlin. The two worked together in Minnesota in 2006, and we all know how Kevin Warren kind of feels about the Chicago Bears search for their next head coach. He prefers someone that has experience, proven experience at that. And when you look at a guy like Mike Tomlin, he definitely has a whole lot of proven experience. Tomlin has been the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers since 2007, and he has never posted a losing record. Granted, I understand that, the Steelers haven't been really good in the postseason, but at least he gets his team there every single year. The guy never has a losing record. He is the ultimate culture builder as well. You think about what Mike Tomlin would be able to do for the culture here in Chicago. And when you think about, the persona and the attitude that Mike Tomlin comes with as well, he would be perfect for the city of Chicago. This is a guy that no one's going to be able to run over. No one's going to be able to talk down to. He means all business. He's all about football. And even though I understand that he has struggled in the playoffs over the past couple of years, this guy still deserves his flowers. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. So I really do applaud the Chicago Bears for reaching out to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though they declined, they said, no, hey, you can't take our coach. I still applaud the Chicago Bears for leaving no stone unturned and really just seeing, hey, what do you want to do with Mike Tomlin? I know that, maybe it's run its course. Are you guys willing to listen? They say no. Okay, now we move on. At least the Chicago Bears did their due diligence. I also want to bring up this note to some Bears fans that, that are claiming that the Chicago Bears have been cheap over the history of hiring head coaches, which could possibly be true. And it probably is true, right? The Chicago Bears have a history of being cheap and not trying to go out there and get the big fish head coach. Let's remind ourselves that Mike Tomlin recently just signed an extension with the Pittsburgh Steelers that runs through 2027. Mike Tomlin is making $16 million, $16 million per year. Let's say, the Chicago Bears reached out and the Pittsburgh Steelers agreed to trade Mike Tomlin to the Chicago Bears. I understand it's not going to happen, but let's say there was an agreement in place. That means the Chicago Bears would be spending $16 million on a head coach. When is the last time we have seen the Chicago Bears spend that much on a head coach? To me, that is sending a message to all those head coaches out there, like, Ben Johnson, maybe Mike McCarthy, saying, hey, we are willing to spend big on our next head coach because that's how badly we want to get this hire right. So I really think it sends a clear message to the National Football League. Say, hey, we are willing to do anything possible to finally get this hire right. So Bears fans, once again, the Chicago Bears are seizing on every opportunity. There's even rumors out there saying the Bears actually reached out to the Minnesota Vikings as well in regard to Kevin O'Connell. I know he's looking for a new deal, so, hey, no stone left unturned. Hey, what are you doing with Kevin O'Connell? He would be a very interesting choice. We all understand that the Vikings are not going to trade Kevin O'Connell within the vision to the Chicago Bears, to make us a better football team. But once again, this is something that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Mike Tomlin would be a great coach for the Chicago Bears. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Mike Tomlin does have a no trade clause in his contract as well. So maybe in the future, maybe if our next head coach doesn't work out once again, and let's say, the Pittsburgh Steelers finally decide to go their separate ways with Mike Tomlin, I think the Chicago Bears should always pounce on the opportunity to get a really good coach like Tomlin. So as always, Bears fans, go ahead and comment down below on how you're feeling about this news from Adam Schefter this morning that the Chicago Bears did in fact reach out to the Pittsburgh Steelers to try to make a deal for Mike Tomlin. Now, definitely would have been blockbuster. Let me know down below how you're feeling about it in the comment section. But as always, Bears fans, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. And also, make sure you guys also head over to betus.com and use promo code YouTube150 for 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000. And also get 125% second and third deposits as well. But other than that, Bears fans, I'll be back for our all-new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout